What's good, Vikings Nation? Skol, baby, it's your boy, just a die-hard Vikings fan, bringing you the hottest Minnesota Vikings news straight from the heart of the purple and gold. Buckle up, because today we're diving into a shocking move that's got the fan base buzzing. The Vikings just waived defensive lineman Trevor Reid with an injury designation, and trust me, this one stings. Why let go of a promising talent like Reid? Stick around as we unpack this roller coaster of a decision. Let's set the stage. The Vikings have been on a mission this offseason, loading up with star power on both sides of the trenches. From beefing up the defensive line with beasts like Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave to locking in offensive line upgrades, GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has been playing chess, not checkers. But Trevor Reid? This guy was the wild card, a CFL standout who had us all hyped when he signed in January. So what went wrong? Here's the teaser. Reid's departure isn't just a roster cut. It's a mystery wrapped in a purple enigma. Was it his health? A strategic pivot? Or something else entirely? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's up, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive into the first piece of this puzzle. Alright, Vikings faithful, let's rewind to January when Trevor Reid first joined the squad. Picture this. A 6'5", 307-pound beast who dominated as a left tackle for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the CFL. This wasn't just some random signing. Reid was one of the top rookies in the Canadian Football League in 2024, starting every game and protecting his quarterback like a fortress. The hype was real. When the Vikings inked Reid to a futures contract, it felt like a steal. This guy had workouts with the Colts and Bengals before landing in Minnesota, and his tape from Louisville showed a mauler with quick feet and a nasty streak. Fans like us were dreaming of him locking down the offensive line alongside Christian Darrisaw. But now, poof, he's gone. What gives? Here's the kicker. The Vikings waived Reid with a non-football injury designation. That's a clue, folks. It suggests something happened off the field, maybe during his rehab or training. Could it be a lingering issue from his CFL days? Let's keep digging. Hit me with your theories in the comments. Let's talk about why this move hurts, Vikings Nation. Trevor Reid wasn't just another body on the roster. He was a low-risk, high-reward gamble. The Vikings didn't break the bank to sign him, and his CFL pedigree gave him a unique edge. In 2024, he helped the Roughriders' offense hum, protecting their QB and opening lanes for a top 10 rushing attack. That's the kind of upside you don't just toss aside lightly. Now, here's where it gets murky. The Vikings' decision to waive Reid with an injury designation points to a failed physical or a health concern they couldn't ignore. According to reports from NBC Sports, Reid's injury wasn't football-related, which raises eyebrows. Was it a setback during off-season workouts? A pre-existing condition? Whatever it was, the Vikings clearly didn't see a quick fix. But here's the silver lining. Cutting Reid costs the team nothing. It's a smart business move if his health is a question mark. Still, I'm curious, what do you think about this? Are the Vikings making room for a bigger splash in the draft? Drop your takes below, and let's move to the next piece of this story. Vikings Nation, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The offensive line has been a priority for Minnesota this offseason, and for good reason. Last season, we saw flashes of brilliance but also moments where the line got bullied in big games. Adding veterans like Ryan Kelly and Will Fries was a statement, but Reid was supposed to be the young, hungry depth piece to grow with the unit. Here's the stat that sticks out. The Vikings' offensive line allowed 47 sacks in 2024, tied for 22nd in the NFL. Not terrible, but not elite either. Reid's size and versatility could have helped shore up that left side, especially with Christian Darrisaw coming off a major knee injury. Losing him feels like a missed opportunity to build depth for 2025. So what's the Vikings' next move? With the NFL draft kicking off tomorrow in Green Bay, are they eyeing a new lineman to replace Reid's potential? Names like Alabama's Tyler Booker or Texas' Kelvin Banks Jr. are floating around as first-round targets. What do you think they should do? Let's keep this train rolling. Alright, let's get speculative, Vikings fans. The timing of Reid's release is no coincidence. The Vikings announced this move on April 22nd, just days before the 2025 NFL Draft. That screams strategy. With only 4 draft picks this year, tied for the fewest in the league, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is playing a high-stakes game. Cutting Reid could be a signal they're confident in their current depth or planning to draft a new tackle. Let's break it down. The Vikings' current tackle depth includes Darisaw, Brian O'Neill, and youngster Walter Rouse, a 2024 draft pick who's reportedly being groomed for guard. Behind them, not much. Guys like Leroy Watson are more practice squad material. Reid was a hedge against injuries, so letting him go suggests the Vikings have a plan we don't know about yet. Here's the hook. Could this be a sign they're trading up in the draft for a blue-chip lineman? Or maybe they're banking on Darisaw's recovery and Rouse's development. I need your hot takes in the comments. Let's figure this out together as we head to the next segment. Vikings Nation, let's talk about the injury angle. The non-football injury tag is a big deal. It means Reid's issue didn't happen during a game or practice with the Vikings. According to 3 Down Nation, Reid was healthy during his CFL season, starting all 18 games for the Rough Riders. So whatever happened, it likely popped up after he signed with Minnesota in January. This raises some spicy questions. Did Reid tweak something during off-season training? Was there a medical red flag during his physical that spooked the Vikings staff? The team's medical team has been under scrutiny after signing older, injury-prone free agents like Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, so maybe they're being extra cautious. After all, they can't afford another misstep with a key position. Here's the twist. Reid could still return. If he clears waivers and gets healthy, the Vikings might bring him back on a cheaper deal. Would you want him back? Or should we move on? Hit the comments, and let's keep unraveling this drama. Let's shift gears, Vikings fans, and look at the business side. Signing Reid was a no-brainer in January, a low-cost flyer on a guy with legit upside. Futures contracts like his are basically free bets with no guaranteed money. If it works out, you've got a steal. If not, you cut bait with 0 cap hit. That's exactly what the Vikings did here, and you can't hate the logic. But let's not sugarcoat it. This move stings because Reid had real potential. His CFL tape showed a guy who could move defenders in the run game and hold up in pass protection. For a team that's been desperate for offensive line depth, losing him feels like a step back, even if it's a small one. The Athletic reported that the Vikings are laser-focused on the trenches in this draft. So maybe they're banking on new blood. Here's the question. Is this a sign of confidence in the current roster, or a desperate pivot because Reid's injury is worse than we think? I'm torn, and I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts below as we head into the home stretch. Vikings Nation, let's talk draft implications. The 2025 NFL Draft is literally hours away, and the Vikings are sitting at pick number 24 in the first round. With Reid gone, the offensive line is back in the spotlight. ESPN's NFL Nation blog noted that Minnesota has prioritized the trenches this offseason, and that's not changing. Could they target a versatile lineman like Ohio State's Donovan Jackson to fill the void? Here's a stat to chew on. The Vikings' offensive line ranked 18th in pass blocking win rate last season, per ESPN Analytics. That's middle of the pack, but with J.J. McCarthy stepping in as QB1, they need to keep him upright. Reid's size and athleticism would have been perfect for Kevin O'Connell's outside zone scheme, so his absence puts pressure on the draft board. What's your dream pick for the Vikings this week? A stud tackle? A mauling guard? Or maybe a defensive playmaker to pair with Brian Flores' scheme? Let's get that comment section popping as we near the end of this wild ride. Alright, Vikings faithful, let's wrap up the Reid saga with some perspective. This move isn't the end of the world. Far from it. The Vikings are coming off a 14-3 season, and with J.J. McCarthy healthy and ready to roll, the future is bright. Losing Reid hurts, but it's a reminder that the NFL is a cold business. If a player can't stay healthy, even a promising one, teams move on fast. That said, I can't help but wonder what could have been. Reid had the tools to be a steal, a CFL star with NFL size and 2 years as a starter at Louisville. Maybe he'll get healthy, clear waivers, and get another shot somewhere else. Heck, maybe even back in Minnesota. For now, though, the Vikings are looking ahead, and the draft is their chance to reload. Here's the final tease. What if the Vikings are planning something huge in the draft to make us forget all about Reid? A blockbuster trade? A surprise pick? Stick with me to the end to find out how we're closing this out. Skol Vikings. Let's bring it home. The Trevor Reid news is a gut punch, but it's just one chapter in the Minnesota Vikings 2025 story. This team is stacked with talent, from Aaron Jones in the backfield to a revamped defensive line that's ready to wreak havoc. The draft is our next big moment, and I'm hyped to see what Kwesi and Coach O'Connell cook up. Are we grabbing a new lineman, a lockdown corner, or something totally out of left field? I want to hear from you, Vikings Nation. What's your take on the Reid cut? Are you worried about the offensive line? Or is this just a blip on the radar? Smash that comment section with your thoughts, and let's get this debate going. Also, what's your bold prediction for the draft? Drop it below. I'm reading every single one. If you love this deep dive into the latest Vikings news, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Share this video with your fellow Vikings fans, and let's keep the Skol spirit alive. Until next time, this is your boy signing off. Skol Vikings, and let's get ready for the draft.